Hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland. This is your host, Ryan Olson, bringing you the championship game of the 2025 MoPac 5 and Under, part of the doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Thank you so much for being here today. We have a great game on tap between Complete Sheet Show, the defending champions, taking on Team Kunkel from Coyotes and OC Curling. Complete Sheet Show hails from Oval Curling out of the Utah Olympic Oval in Salt Lake City, Utah. Updating the scoreboard in a second. We have 4 finals, 4 sheets in play. We'll keep you updated on what is going on as best we can. But you can also find information about the games and find links to streams at bonspieler.com. So teams are doing their final slides. They got the ice a couple minutes early, and then we started the broadcast a little early. But looks like we're going to be, starting just on time. Definitely appreciate people tuning in. Definitely appreciate them also kind of slowing their start. And I'm definitely glad that everyone is here. Glad you guys are here watching as well. Hoping for a good game and definitely going to see it, I believe, as we see Tessa Brocky get set for the first rock for Complete Sheet Show. Rocks away, we are underway here in the first end. These teams are pretty, this has been a pretty competitive event, and these teams are probably among the top competitors, obviously by the nature of them reaching the final. Looks like it drew into the top of the house, so you might see Team Kunkel throw a hit. It looks like they're actually opting for a draw to a guard position.
That'd be a good problem to have, right? So yeah, so different colors with different ear sheets. Yeah. So the blue is the cheers colors, all the yellow ones are red.
And looking to put up a corner guard. That seems to be on pace, on track. And actually slips into the rings, and so it looks like skipper Ramin Gilbert for Complete Sheet Show has the broom down for Tessa to pop that out. Looks a little inside, but let's see how much it curls. It looks like it's on track for a hit, a slight roll back towards the middle. So the hit was made. So now it looks like we're getting into it now. A play has been drawn into the rings. And so it looks like the broom is down for a hit and roll of their own for Team Kunkel, as we see Matt O'Brien throw his second rock. And this looks pretty good. It's going to hit, it's going to roll. Now the question is, it going to roll too far? It does roll under the cover and pokes out the other side. So trading the hits back and forth as we see Jerry. This should be Jerry O'Brien's shots as Jerry is getting sets. Looks like a little wide perhaps, but they're sweeping hard for line. So the rocks do curl both ways, and this is going to be close. And it just taps the red with enough vigor to push it out of the rings out the back. So that was a good shot there from Jerry St. James. Now to second stones for Team Kunkel, the rink out of Coyotes and OC Curling. This is going to be Hal Brown. Looking to clear the front stone, I believe. And this is curling up maybe a little too much as the sweepers are called off. Okay, so this is a draw. It was not a takeout. So that settles into the top 8 foot, good for shots. So Jerry St. James is being asked to pop that out. Looking for about 2 feet of curl, just under 2 feet of curl. Mine is looking pretty good, maybe a little inside. And it taps it, but not enough to get it out of the rings. It pushes it to the right edge of the 12 foot. That's good for shot still. So now Jeff Kunkel is looking to clear that front yellow out of the way. With Brown's second stone. And this is looking good to clear the yellow. A pretty clean sheet so far. The shooter's going to stick around in the upper 12 foot as Jeff sweeps the yellow rock through the rings out of play. I'll let you guys know the other games that are happening on the ice. This is the first event final, the championship game. On the line is a berth to the 5U National Championship coming up later this spring. As Ramin Gilbert, skipping the team, throwing third, is looking to hit and I think maybe roll towards the middle if he can. Hits on the outside, it rolls outside of the rings. And taking a look to make sure it is. Don't think it's biting, but it could be. So this is the first event final between complete sheet show of Oval Curling and Team Kunkel of Coyotes and OC Curling. On sheet D, we have the second event final between Team Broomstones of Broomstones taking on the Tuscan Curlers. As we're going to see Woody Woo push out of the hat. The Tuscan Curlers hail out of San Francisco Bay Area, Lone Star, and St. Paul. That's the second event final. The third event final is on sheet B, where we have Team Hot Dish from Wine Country Curling taking on Team Skip It from Silicon Valley. And it was kind of nice to have the coaches of both teams kind of join us on the broadcast the past couple of draws. This morning we had Jeremy from Skip It on the call, and then last night in the afternoon we had Dan for Hot Dish offering some insights. It was fun to have different voices on the broadcast. Definitely helps mix things up a bit. As we have 2 reds in the rings, and Gilbert's looking to take out the shot stone on the left again. Pretty similar shot to his first. I think they're maybe hoping for a little bit of a roll towards the middle, and they will get that roll. And they did. They clipped one of the reds in the back. Actually, I think they jammed on the red in the back, and that red is probably sitting third shot. So right now it is complete sheet show sitting 1. I'm sorry, it's Team Kunkel sitting 1, I believe. Okay, so apologies on the rocks. I was going off of what was on the scoreboard. I'll have to fix that when I can. While I do that, just to let you know, the last game on the ice, that is the 4th event final on sheet A. And that features CCMF from Lone Star taking on Broom Stacking Badgers from Milwaukee. And that is a sheet A game. And all those games, links to the streams are available on Von Spieler. So doing some more cleanup action. This takeout by David Hurst looks to be made, and then the shooter's going to roll to the edge of the 4 foot. So complete sheet show still does have hammer. I just had the wrong colors, I believe. So back and forth we go, round and round. So this round and round the rings, this first end of the championship final. Thank you so much for tuning in. Any questions or comments? I do have YouTube open so I can see comments if people want to chime in. As we are now to the stipstones, as I mentioned, Woody Woo has the broom down for Jeff Kunkel. Looking to hit the yellow out. And this is looking pretty good. Both teams seem to have a pretty good idea of the line early in this game. It's going to hit and it's going to roll towards the middle. It's in the top of the button, so there's a thin double that they might want to take on. Ramin's kind of gesturing at that possibility. If they make it, kind of keep an open sheet and also minimize the chances of giving up a crooked number here in this first end. I'm sorry, Team Kunkel has the hammer this end, so definitely looking to reduce the damage here as David Hurst is about to deliver out of the hack. So this is going to just nose and I think maybe roll slightly to the, it's only really curls about a stone. So it looks like Team Kunkel has a nose hit for at least 2. That red might be hanging on the back. As Jeff is getting sets, these teams have a decent amount of experience. Team Kunkel has 13 years, while Complete Sheet Show has 14 years. The team that has less experience has the choice of hammer, and that's how Kunkel opted for the hammer in this first end. And so with the rocks in play, the last rock, the hammer coming. Just a nose hit for one, maybe two. That hit is made. The shooter's the yellow's going to go back through the rings out of play. And so that is a 2 or 3 for Team Kunkel to open up scoring. So a very exciting first end, kind of back and forth, trading hits, some opportunities building, but Kunkel, I think, definitely had a pretty good edge in that first end. And we'll have second end coverage coming up in just a moment as we return to the 2025 MoPac 5-Under tournaments. Coverage of this event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy provides updated rankings of the top men's and women's curling teams from around the world at DoubleTakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg, free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the travel handle, which is made for traveling curlers in mind, a carbon fiber handle that divides into easy segments that can fit most carry-on luggage. Endgamecurling.com. Back to the action. Both teams are being very aggressive to start this game, as Kunkel drew in with the first stone coming from Matt O'Brien. Tessa Brocky is about to get set for her first rock of the second end. Looking to tap the red out, and I think maybe stick around. And this is hanging out. They're trying to push it over to make some contact. It only kisses it. And then the shooter is going to roll through the rings out of play. And that was a score of 2. So Kunkel did convert the hammer in the first end with a deuce. And looking to definitely try to force Complete Sheet Show to a single or steal if they can in this second end. As Matt gets set for a second rock. And looking to basically kind of put up that tight rock into the top of the rings. That spills in. And they're looking to Complete Sheet Show is going to try to do a hit and roll. As Brocky's about to do her second delivery. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. It's a very interesting site of stats and information. If you have a favorite women's team or a favorite men's team from around the world, it offers some statistics and information. Ken Pomeroy updates the site after major curling events. You can see how teams fare against other ranked opponents, how they can convert the hammer. That means like scoring multiple points when they have the last rock advantage at DoubleTakeout.com. So Brocky makes the hit, sits around near the center line. As we see Hal Brown push out of the hat. He is one of the representatives from OC Curling on this hybrid team from Coyotes and OC Curling. This is over curling slightly, but it might make contact. It just kisses it. The shooter is going to roll wide right and through the rings. And so now Ramin, Gilbert, and Sheet Show have a chance to maybe set up a multiple point end here. So it looks like they're going to hit and roll. They're going to try and pop out the red on the right that has been around since the first shot of this end. It's Jerry St. James gets set. This is a pretty exciting team. We've been talking all weekend just about how the curlers here have 5 years of experience or less. That does not necessarily mean that they don't have skill or really kind of the bravado to make key shots. This one's over curling a little bit. It's going to wick the red and push it towards the center. So that's an unfortunate miss there from St. James. I've curled with several of these players. I've curled against Complete Sheet Show as a team. And I can definitely say that they've definitely made a lot of progress in such a short amount of time, winning the 5 and under last year. They also, as a men's team, minus Tessa, they won the men's arena playdowns last year. So they got to go to 2 different national championships. A little bit of a wobble there from Hal Brown as he pushes out a hack. Looking to pop out the yellow at his second stone. The rocks do curl away from the boards a decent amount, but it looks like they've managed the shot well, and they hit the red out, and so now it is Kunkel sitting 2. And now Gilbert's going to ask St. James to hit the inside of that center red and then roll back towards the other stone. A possible double takeout, but at the very least make one of them go away. Make at least one of them go away. So this rock is looking pretty good. David Hurst is trying to push it over. It needs to curl just another half rock or so. Oh, and it splits the uprights. So just this is a game of inches, and Jerry was on the wrong side of the inch there, unfortunately. So now with Team Kunkel sitting 2, Woody Woo, I think, is being asked to put up a guard as the broom is set for about 4 feet of curl. This might be a good rock to time. So if for a guard, we're probably looking at about 14.2 seconds. As the sweepers are just walking it down. That was about 12.8, so it's a little up. So actually they may have wanted to draw in. That didn't curl as much as I think they were perhaps thinking. No, I mean, it was still about 2 feet of curl, 2 to 3 feet of curl. And that was 12.8, so that was... It's a little bit slower than I mean, the ice is a little bit slower than I was thinking it would be, but... So in a jam here, facing 3, Ramin Gilbert makes his way down the ice, looking to try that hit and roll that Jerry tried with his first. So Complete Sheet Show is a team where you have most of the components play together, but sometimes they bring in subs or alternates. This is going to hit the red, the center red, and then roll on top of the red to the right here. So that was a really good hit and roll, well managed. They didn't need to pop out the second stone, so they are now sitting shots, almost corner frozen to the Kunkel red on the left. So good shot there from Gilbert. So we had 24 teams in this field. We're doing bracket play, so these teams are undefeated through the A bracket. If they had lost, they would have gotten bounced to a lower bracket. until the third game. If they lost the third game, they would be out, as we had a 3-game minimum at this event. So it looks like Woody was going to try and draw on top of the yellow, and this is going to be a little wide or a little inside. And it curls around, so it's accessible, and it is trying to play to the back. This could be a chance for them to split the rings slightly, you know, hit and roll, as Ramin is indicating. So it's interesting. Usually, I say usually, David Hurst is the fourth, and he often holds the broom. But in this case, Tessa Brockie is holding the broom for Complete Sheet Show. That's not unusual necessarily. It's just worth noting. You sometimes choose the playing order, the throwing order that works best for your team, and same thing with skipping and vice skipping. You usually want the best person with in terms of calling shots and strategy to skip, and then you want someone who is kind of able to follow in the footsteps of the skip to hold the broom. And again, that's not to say that David can't do a great job. It's just Complete Sheet Show has chosen to have Brockie hold the broom for Sheet Show. So looking for a hit and roll. The weight's probably going to be probably hack to board, as Gilbert is destroying his second stone with the third rocks here. Pushing for crawling for curl, as just working to manage it now, calling for line. This is going to be close. It's going to hit. It's going to roll toward the back forefoot. And that looks to be second shot or shots. And so now Complete Sheet Show is set up for 2 points, at least 2 points. Barring a situation, when I say that Kunkel might be looking at a double here, or at least hitting the yellow on the right and then maybe rolling back to the yellow. I mean, it's kind of risky. I don't know if I would take it on, especially when the jam possibility is there on the right side. They're really kind of considering their shots here. These games are not timed. We are encouraging timely play by kind of noting that ends should be played in about 17 minutes or less. And they are right on the bubble here. There's no penalty if they play with around 17 minutes. If they start playing 19 minutes or more, that's when we start to say, hey, maybe pick up the pace of play. And then if you're playing more than 19 minutes, and after we warn you guys or warn the teams, then the ice officials can start timing individual shots. And if the shots are not completed within 45 seconds of receiving the control of the sheet, rocks can be pulled from play. So we have a bit of a carrot and we have a bit of a stick, and it's worked out so far. If the team that goes to nationals will have timed games. It's just that this is an event that started as a fun spiel, and we're not quite ready to have timers on these games. So going for the gentle takeout hit. It's going to roll slightly towards the center. And so David Hurst for Sheet Show is probably going to do a very similar hit and roll to what Ramin just threw. That was a good shot there from Jeff of Team Kunkel. And we are at Curl Vegas. This is a relatively new facility east of the airport, kind of a little slightly closer to Henderson. It's a 4-sheet club. It's pretty nice. Also, one of the big features of this club is a wall of windows facing the outside. They're north-facing windows, so the temperature and sunlight are not, I mean, they're any concern. They do have some solar installation up, but the windows are otherwise mostly open this time of year. But exposed, they're uncovered. That's the word I was looking for. As Hurst makes a hit and it rolls towards the shot rock. So I think that was a slight miss. So now Kunkel's going to take that on the wing there. It looks like they're going to try and draw and park on top of the yellow and back. So just a missed it overcurled just a little too much, and this gives Kunkel a bit of an out. So they're going to be able to draw, and if they make this draw successfully, park on top of the shot stone and sit shot, and so then complete sheet show and fourth David Hurst are going to have to make a tough choice here, as Jeff Kunkel is set to push out a hack. Looking for a draw. This is towards the boards, which does not curl as much as towards the windows. This is weight looks pretty good. It might be a slight light, and then it started moving sideways just in front of the house. And this is going to be lights. And so now sitting 2, complete sheet show has a draw for 3 to take the lead and basically convert the hammer, responding in kind to Team Kunkel, converting the hammer with 2 in the first, a chance for 3 for Team complete sheet show in the second. So just looking for a draw to the button. This should be in a lot of teams is bread and butter. As drawing the button has gotten so much more important at the competitive level. It's a factor as a tiebreaker to determine who advances to the playoffs, as they no longer do tiebreaker games at a lot of these events. This is David Hurst with the hammer, a chance for 3 here in the second end. So sweepers are called off. Got about 15 seconds. Oh, this is dangerous. It's a little light too. So the sweepers are called off. It settles in as a guard, and they're taking a look at the bottom just to make sure it didn't pick. So it may have picked, just kind of how it dug in there. So 2 points. Then there's a clinging the draw path. So a chance for 3 ends in a possible pick, but no damage was done for complete sheet show as they convert the hammer to take 2. And well played end. Both teams, when they have control of the sheet, are doing a really excellent job of managing the situation. As now we get to see how complete sheet show sets up an end. We haven't seen them really start with guards. They've really gone into the rings to start an end. And this is looking close to a guard, but I think it's going to slip into the top of the rings again. Actually slips into the top of the forefoot, touching the button. So it was a good draw. As Matt slides out of the hat, I think looking to put up a corner guard. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. It's the only platform where you can take a shot, watch it execute with accurate physics, undo and try again until it's perfect. Practice strategy, finesse your technique, and enjoy a good game, all for free and ad-free. Visit curling.gg. So not a corner guard. Both teams slipping into the rings here, and so play is also being drawn into the rings. But even though they're not putting up guards, there's been a lot of rocks in play. So this has been pretty exciting to see. A really excellent start by both teams. As Brocky's second stone is headed down the ice towards the boards. Jerry's trying to coax it over as much as he can, and it's going to make some contact, and it's going to roll and jam on the yellow on the button, and the shooter's going to stick around in the edge of the button on the right. The red hit the boards, is going out of play. So Sheet Show is sitting 2. If you guys have any comments or questions, be sure to drop a note in the YouTube chat. I'm keeping an eye on things today for this draw especially. I do a slightly different streaming setup on Sundays because the service we use is also shared by a lot of churches. And so we just want to make sure that we don't have any interruptions. We've had some stream interruptions before, and it's been stressful. What was not stressful was that hit undertaken by Matt and Team Kunkel, well executed, as the sweepers just kind of escorted it down the sheets for a nose hit. Kunkel sitting shots on the edge of the forefoot. So the broom is down for Jerry St. James to return the favor, hit, and maybe a slight roll towards the left here. Jerry taking a close look to make sure that the bottom of the stone is very clean. People who are curlers know that it's really easy for a stone to pick up a piece of dirt or a hair, and then that just throws the stone off track. And that may have been what happened with David's last stone in the last end. This rock here is over curling, but it's enough to kiss the shooter, or kiss the shot stone. Shooter rolls away, as does the shot rock. So it is complete Sheet Show sitting 1 on the edge of the 12 foot. Could be going for a blank here. We are playing 8 ends of regulation, and these games, I said, are not being timed. There's also no time limit for this championship game, as Hal delivers his first stone, looking to draw or tap the yellow out. It's looking pretty good, especially it did some pretty heavy swing late. This is going to be more of a draw, almost a freeze on top of the yellow. A little bit of a separation there, so Gilbert will likely put the broom down to take out the red, hopefully stick around, but just make the red go away, being the priority. So there's no time limit on these games. During the rest of the tournament, we ring a bell after 95 minutes, and then teams would have time to finish the end they're currently playing, and then one more end, although no end will start after 2 hours. That's all off the table now. There's no time limit. Teams can play 8 ends of regulation if they choose, and if the game is tied after 8 ends, instead of the last stone shootout that we've had throughout this tournament, teams will play an extra end to try to resolve a tie. So St. James's stone gets both rocks in the house moving, and then the shooter hangs on to the edge of the 12 foot. And this is, I feel a blank coming on. Population blank. Blanktown? I don't know. It's a pretty fun weekend, but this is also 11 games that I've been calling, so you can sometimes just say whatever comes to your mind. Looking to, again, I think try to do the corner freeze, try to set up multiple points if you can. And this is going to be pretty good. It's not going to curl up to the yellow on the outside, but it is shot on the kind of biting the 8 foot ring. So Ramin Gilbert's in the hatch, Tessa Brockie holding the broom, looking for a takeout and maybe a little bit of roll back towards the middle. Gilbert's delivery is pretty interesting. He has the broom flat on the ice, which is a way to deliver the rock. This is needs a little inside, but it was enough to get the red out of play. The shooter also rolls out of the rings, so it's now back to the that yellow sheet show stone on the edge of the 12-foot. I don't think you're to hear me talking. I mean, you can hear me talking, but I don't think you're to hear the additional me talking because I had the stream kind of going in the background. This should be Woody's rock. I think looking to kind of draw back to where Kunkel's last stone ended up, Team Kunkel's stone. This looks like it's going to maybe make some contacts on the shot yellow, really close to a corner freeze. That is a really great shot there by Woody Woo for Team Kunkel. Taking a look at the scores, you're watching the championship final, the second event final on sheet D. Tuscan Curlers of San Francisco Lone Star and St. Paul stole 2 in the first and then forced Broomstones to a single in the second. So currently the score is Tuscan Curlers 2, Broomstones 1 after 2. So Gilbert is trying to throw some heat to pop out the red, and it's going to make some contacts, but it's only enough to unlock the yellow. The shooter's going to go away, and so now it is the red that is the shot stone on the edge of the 12-foot. It's a pretty wide open house otherwise. Woody Woo is in the hat, ready for his next shots. And this is going to split the rings. Try to set up a 2 or more here for Team Kunkel. The third event final on sheet B features Skip It from Silicon Valley stealing 2 in the first. The Hot Dish of Wine Country Curling was able to convert the Hammer with 2 in the second, so they are all square 2 after 2 on sheet B. As Woody's second stone ends up in the back 8-foot. So the question is, Team Kunkel sitting 2, they're in a good position right now. How does Complete Sheet Show respond? Do they try to hit their way out of this situation, or do they draw down? They really can't hit this red out that Gilbert has the broom next to. I mean, they can tap it back, but they basically really can't make a double takeout. It would be a very difficult double takeout, as it would be across the house. As David Gilbert gets set. Looking for a hit, I guess maybe hit now and then draw for their last. So it's going to hit and it's going to roll. The question is, how far does it roll? It rolls through the rings out of play. And so I imagine Kunkel's going to try that split the rings draw again. And then, depending on where that ends up, then the pressure is going to be on Complete Sheet Show on how to avoid giving up maybe 3. They might have to be content to give up 2 in this end. The last game on the ice is the 4th event final on sheet A. Broomstacking Badgers of Milwaukee forced CCMF of Lone Star to a single point in the first end, and then the Broomstacking Badgers with the Hammer took 4 in the second end. So it's the Badgers up 4-1 over CCMF. That is the 4th event final on sheet A. So looking for a draw. I think they're trying to split the rings. The weight's going to be important here. I think they would try to keep it high in the house to really force Sheet Show to a tough situation, and they do indeed keep it high. It's going to be the edge of the 4 foot. So it looks like Gilbert is going to try to have David Hurst hit and roll towards the center. It's setting up for 2 here. At the very least, make the shot stone go away and sit shots. Have the Sheet sit shot. That is a tongue twister right there. As David Hurst is set to deliver his last rock here in this third end without the hammer. Facing 2. Looking to try to get it to curl over, and this is not going to get back. So now Team Kunkel has 2 in hand and has an open draw for 3. So this is a high scoring affair here on our championship game. And we have Jeff Kunkel with a chance for 3. And just kind of a back and forth affair we have here. Last rock coming, the hammer for Jeff and Team Kunkel. Just needs to touch paint for a 3rd rock. Can't be light. Sweepers are on it to make sure it gets there. It looks pretty good. As the sweepers are off of it as soon as they knew it was going to be there. It has some backing with the red. So that is a 3 spot there for Team Kunkel to retake. Well, they broke the tie to take a 5-2 lead over Team Complete Sheet Show. Quick pause in the action. We'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Coming to you live from Curl Vegas. And we're back. Hopefully you didn't miss anything. As Matt drew into the reins, no guards. This has been a pretty interesting game where sometimes you try to put up guards to generate offense, and teams have been content to try and just draw into the reins and go into a takeout game. As Tessa Brocky gets set to deliver her first stone of this end. Coverage of the 4th end is brought to you by Endgame Curling. Unlock your potential with the curling broom that's right for you, featuring the Endgame icon. With a 7.5-inch head to concentrate sweeping energy to increase directional sweeping effects. And the Endgame Origin with a 9-inch head to cover more ice surface, transfer maximum energy, and carry stones further. EndgameCurling.com. So the hit was made, and now it is Sheet Show sitting shots just above the 4 foot as Matt's second rock is coming. So the winner of this event will qualify for the 5 Under National Championship. There's a bit of a wrinkle if a team is already qualified, which it sounds like Team Kunkel has. So if a team that's already qualified wins this qualifier, we don't qualify a berth to nationals. The berth then goes to the team with the net spot with the most number of entries. And we are a pretty decent-sized sponsor with 24 teams, but we are not the biggest. So it's just the nature of the game. We definitely encourage teams to play robustly with gusto, as it were, and let the chips fall where they may. We have let USA Curling know that we have concerns about how the qualifications are are handled after a team wins a qualifier. But like I said, that's the game, baby. So Brocky hits out the O'Brien stone. And also, just to underscore, we don't want a team that's already qualified feel like that people are cheering against them and hoping that they lose just so that we can qualify a team to nationals. That is not, I'm sure some people have thought it, some people may have expressed it, but that's something that we are not encouraging. We want all teams to do well. We want to see the best of all these teams. And I think we're seeing that right now. This has been a great game so far. As the hit is made, a slight roll towards the center. Also, with these teams doing hits, they've really managed the ice pretty well. Because that's the other thing, is that when you do draws, you can usually have a little bit more buffer if you miss. With takeouts, the margin of error is a lot smaller. As you see, Jerry St. Jones' next stone. This one's looking pretty good, and also it's sweeping to hold the line, as it does tend to curl more towards the window from the wall. Hits the red shot stone, and then the shooter's going to roll toward the right, biting the edge of the 8-foot at about 1 o'clock if the curling house were a clock dial. So trading the hits back and forth as we see Hal Brown deliver his next stone. Looking good for a hit, and we're going to see a bit of a roll. It's going to roll just basically about 2 feet across the center line back to the full 8-foot on the left side. About 11:30, which is also the time. No, it's 11:48. So trading some more hits as we see Jerry get set for his second stone. Pretty similar shot to his first. Want to make sure it's online. And this is looking pretty good. Going to hit, it's going to roll back across the center line. Full 8-foot. So a lot of times when you hit, especially when you nose hit, you basically move up the width of a stone closer towards the top of the house. With these hit and rolls, they're kind of rolling a little deeper into the rings, which is fascinating to see. That's, I'm sure, a strategy that some curlers and skips have examined over time. But these rods are rolling ever so more slightly towards the center of the house, as we see Woody Woo's first rock here in the 4th end. Looking for a hit. This is going to be a hit on the outside. It's over curling slightly, but it's enough to get the yellow through the rings out of play, and then the shooter is going to roll toward the outside right side of the house. Sit down on the near the edge of the 12-foot at about 3 o'clock. So just keeping an open house. This also might be a situation where Complete Sheet Show might be thinking of trying to blank here. They're down 3, so they are probably looking for a way to get 2 or more with the hammer. They do have the hammer here in this end, as Gilbert slides down the ice for his first shots as a third of this end. Looks like they are going to try and generate some offense. They're geared up for a draw. So they're looking to probably sit on top of that shot red on the right side of the sheets. We're going to see if the ice is sped up any. This looks a little, weight's pretty good actually. They're managing the shot. It's a 14-3. Supers are now hard on the stone to make sure it gets to where it needs to go, and it looks pretty good as it's going to park. Not quite corner frozen, but about 3 or 4 inches off from the red. It is now yellow sitting shots, and so I'm going to guess that Kunkel's going to try and take it on with Woody's second stone. That was a good draw there from Ramin, and well managed by the sweepers, including Jerry and David. So looking for a hit here from Woody Woo with the second of this end. Nice smooth release there. Don't always call the releases, but it's worth noting. This is on target to hit the outside of the yellow. It jams on the red, and then the yellow shot stone is going to go through the house out of play. So great shot by Woody. I want to see a replay of that. That looks pretty good. There is no sound. I was curious what happened there. As Ramin delivers his second stone, I think looking to do the draw again. Again, kind of well managed. Looks like maybe a little lighter than the last one. As still trying to manage it as it draws down. That's a thing of beauty, actually. It is shot. It doesn't draw on top of the red. It goes a little deeper than that. So it is probably exposed. And then the Kunkel can get access to it and stick around. Broom is down for Jeff for his first of 2 skip stones without a hammer here in this fourth end, holding on to a 3-point lead. And so I was saying thing of beauty because, you know, we've seen that these teams can hit, and we've seen that they can draw, but just to be able to switch modes, going from hit mode to draw mode, both teams are managing that really well. I think we've turned into a beauty of a game here, folks, and I'm glad you've tuned in. As Jeff gets set. Looking to hit the yellow and stick around just based on the broom. Looking for about back line to hat weight, I would say. This is going sideways though, so maybe looking for a plan B. The plan B is to hit the red onto the yellow. So now the question is who shot, and I would say it looks yellow to me, but Gilbert taps the red. This is a situation where if yellow shot, and I think they are, I would split the rings and try to get 2, because they're down 3. They don't need to get 3 this end. So if they could do the draw and they sit it on top of the red for second shot or shots, that could set up 3. So they're the chutzpah on this game call is pretty interesting. As David Hurst gets set, we're looking for 3 elements: alignment, balance, and curl on the release. Some good balance. Now we watch the release, the curl, the rotation of the stone. Going for a draw, hoping to sit in front of the red. The downside of this strategy is that they could miss the shot, or they could set up a situation where Kunkel can draw around. And this is looking a little heavy and a little inside. And so there's a miss, unfortunately. And so it sets up a double that Kunkel could put on. It's dangerous, though. You guys can look at this overhead here, this over-the-shoulder view. The doubles there, if they hit the yellow that Woody's broom is next to, just to the left of center, they'll probably get both yellows moving. However, the downside is if it hits it too thinly on the left outside, it could jam the yellow on the red, and then sets up the possible 3-point score for sheet show. This is Jeff Kunkel facing 2 without the hammer here in the 4th end. Hal's really sweeping, trying to hold line. Line is going to be super important here. If it over curls, it's not bad, which might be what's happening here. So it hits the yellow onto the back yellow, and then the yellow that got hit first rolls to the back 8 foot. 4 shots. So now basically all complete sheet show needs to do for 2 is touch the 8 foot ring, really. That red is maybe touching the 8 foot barely. Going for a draw. Sweepers are working to clean the draw path, making sure that nothing goes wrong with this delivery, as we saw David's draw for a 3rd point in the second end kind of go sideways. So definitely wanted to avoid that from happening as he gets sets. Draw for 2, David Hurst hammer here in the 4th end. Sweepers are just cleaning. Now they're digging in. Needs to be full 8 foot. It's going to be close. 14/8 as Gilbert jumps out to help and needs to get there. Needs to touch the 8 foot for that second point, and it does just barely. As Woody takes a look at it, it is that second point as Sheet Show exchanges fist bumps. That was a great sweep there to save the shot for David Hurst to take 2 points to draw within a single of Team Kunkel. Team Kunkel still holds the lead 5-4 as we have reached the halftime break. There is no halftime show at this event. If there were, it would be Las Vegas showgirls, all dressed as Elvis impersonators. It is weird. That'd be hilarious, though. As Tessa gets set for her first shot of this end, just another friendly reminder that coverage of the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg is brought to you by doubletakeout.com, featuring comprehensive and custom rankings of the top men's and women's curling teams from around the world. If you have a favorite team from a certain country, you can see how they rank at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. For skips and curlers who love a good game, curling.gg is your ultimate practice tool. And by Endgame Curling. Elevate your game. Unlock the next level with Endgame's leading edge curling brooms and accessories. Endgamecurling.com. So Tessa Brockie is the first stone of the end. You guys won't believe this. She drew into the top of the rings to the top 12 foot. However, we're going to see Team Kunkel try to put up the corner guard again, and this one might touch the house. And I think it does touch the house. So it was 2 inches shy of being a corner guard. We're so close, guys. So the broom is down for Tessa to do the hit and roll. And this is a totally valid strategy. I am not saying this is the wrong way to handle this play. It's just both teams are being very aggressive, and we're going to see a hit, and that is a corner guard. That might not be what they wanted, especially as Kunkel might try to do a hit and roll, hit the center yellow and roll under the yellow, or even if it taps the yellow, that's fine as long as it doesn't tap the yellow out of play. Matt O'Brien quick out of the house here with his second rock. Updating you on the games in action, and there is a lot of action. As the hit was made and the roll is pretty successful, as it gets about 20% under the cover of the corner guard. So Jerry St. James for Complete Sheet Show is being asked to hit and roll. Working to hold line. If it hits their own guard, that's not the end of the world, because it might roll into the rings like that. So not a bad miss. It is shot, so Kunkel's going to take it on in terms of hitting and trying to roll back towards the middle. You are tuned to the championship final between Complete Sheet Show of Oval Curling of Utah taking on Team Kunkel of Coyotes and OC Curling. Team Kunkel has a 5-4 lead after the fourth end, halfway through the game, and lots of game to go. Complete Sheet Show are the defending champions. This rock is hanging out a little outside, but it has enough pace to push the yellow through the rings out of play. So now Kunkel's sitting 2 with the hammer here in this 5th end. The second event final is on sheet D, featuring Tuscan curlers of SFBACC, San Francisco, Lone Star, and St. Paul. Tuscan curlers are up 3-1 over Broomstones. Pretty tight game there as Jerry St. James gets set for hit and roll. The third event final is taking place on sheet B. A contest between Hot Dish of Wine Country taking on Skip It of Silicon Valley Curling. That was a nose hit there. So good to make the hit. It's good for second shot. And then on the third event final, Hot Dish is up 4-2 over Skip It. And then on sheet A, the final between Broomstacking Badgers and Milwaukee. They scored 4 in the second end, and that is currently holding up as they are 4-3 leaders over CCMF of Lone Star. And CCMF does not stand for anything profane. It stands for Curling Club of Marfa, as we've been told. And hopefully Marfa's not bad. We'll find out if it is. But right now, Broomstacking Badgers are up 4-3 in that game. All games are streaming. All the other sheets are streaming courtesy of Curl Vegas and are available on the Curl Vegas page. As Brownstone is away, I think they were looking to try and draw around. This is a little light as the sweepers are pounding the ice to make sure it gets every inch they can. And this is going to curl on top of the yellow, tap it slightly, and then roll open towards the center. So shot is still on the right side from this view, or the left side from this view. So they were trying to draw around that yellow, it appears, and it was just a little light. The line was pretty good. All scores are being posted to Bonspieler. You can also find links to the other streams. And definitely thanks to Jason and Pearl Vegas for helping to set up the streams for the other sheets this weekend. This is the most comprehensive coverage that we've had of a MoPac 5U ever. I say that even though Seattle Granite, they had one stream that had all 5 sheets, which is a lot. So looking for a hit and roll for Gilbert's first. It's going to hit. How much of a roll we're going to get? Just a slight roll, about a stone's worth. So teams are trading hits back and forth again. Sheet show is sitting 2 now without the hammer, as Woody Woo is stepping into the hack. So he's talking about looking for the aim alignment. You want to see Woo and the stone in his body positions to slide out towards the broom, and that looks pretty good. And then you want to see him balance as he comes out, and then his release, and everything looks like it's clicking for Woody. Looking for a hit, and this is kind of floating. So an unfortunate miss there, and the ice could be changing slightly. We got a full scrape, pebble, and mop before the start of this game, so this is a fresh sheet. But ice conditions do change. It's like a putting green in golf, where rain or dryness could really affect how the shots go. So just a miss there, unfortunately, from Woody slightly. Although you kind of saw his energy, a lot of his energy was kind of going wide, and that could have affected how his shot, how his release happened. Hard to say without doing a little bit more analysis. As Gilbert gets set for a draw around those center stones. Probably looking for about 13 seconds hog to hog time. We measure a lot of times how long it takes a rock to travel from between the hog lines. And that's about 14.8, so this is maybe a little light. It's going to settle in the top of the house. It is good for third shot, apparently. So, but it does provide some additional cover for Kunkel to maybe do a hit and roll as he's gesturing there. And hey, thank you again, everyone tuning in. It's always great to have people tuning in to watch the best that our region has to offer, the Mountain Pacific. And we're going to see Woody Woo go for some redemption here. Looking for a hit and roll from him. And his energy was a lot more on focus. And this looks pretty good. It's going to maybe make some contact and then roll towards the center. And Gilbert's going to sweep it as far as he can. But it is now pretty thoroughly buried under that trio of front stones. And make sure you take your front stones vitamins, right? That's a deep cut for people older than millennials. I guess millennials had front stones vitamins. So we're the skip stones or fourth stones in the case of David Hurst. Looking to do the draw again. So the last draw that Ramin made was 14.8. Hurst has been a little light on his draws. Oh, this last one was really good. So let's see how he does here. I'm still thinking probably like 14.2. There's also a possibility of tapping the center yellow up if it comes to it. And that's 14-2. So I think that's closer to the target I was thinking of. As they're able to sweep it to the top forefoot. It's good for shot, but it is exposed. If they got like another 4 inches of curl, they would have been in a really bonzer position. So 14-2-5. That's around what I was saying T-line was. They swept a lot, so I think maybe just a little more upward for a natural T-line weight. So they're looking at the shot for Team Kunkel. Couple options, as they've indicated. They could try to like nose out the yellow, actually hit it just left of center from this view. They don't want it to jam on the red, and that's why they have such a tight handle. I think we could expect Jeff to throw a decent amount of weight at this. As he's getting set, looking for control weight, I would say, as his shot's away. Calling for curl. So it's hanging out wide. They're trying to push it back if they can. And it just kisses this yellow and pushes it further under cover. And just a miss there from Jeff, unfortunately. The weight looked pretty good. They were going for heavy board, light control. And so now complete sheet show is sitting 1 without the hammer. They're looking to see what they can do to secure their advantage here in this end. They don't want to, I mean, they could have put up a guard, but then there's a possible run back, and they can't guard both the run back and guard the draw path again. They're looking at tapping forward, which would have some appeal to it. There's a miss though, like a bad miss, where if it overcurls and taps the red up, that wouldn't be too bad of a miss, because it kind of junks up the, provides some more cover for the shot stone. So they're looking to tap back the yellow, and again you can see the complete sheet show sweepers doing their darndest to make sure this draw path stays clean. And that's something that you learn at Bonspiels, especially on dedicated ice, is that, you know, everyone does their best to keep the ice as clean as possible. But, you know, hair and dirt and dust, they get on the ice. And so it often impacts your game at the worst possible time. So this is, I think, going for a tap, but a plan B is to maybe just, they're still going for the tap. The tap is there. They're going to push it back to the edge of the forefoot. It looks like it might be a second shot. So I think that the best shot for Kunkel is to try to raise the red on the yellow. I haven't done it yet this game, folks. I apologize. Complete Sheet Show hails from the Oval Curling Club. That's my home club. And so, you know, normally I would have a deep interest in how they fare, but I, as the MoPac commentator, am doing my level best to be as neutral as possible, following the spirit of curling and, you know, celebrating good play on both sides, trying to be fair to all sides as well. So I usually do that disclaimer a little sooner than that, but just to let you know, I don't have any horse in this race. So, going for a raise here. Tricky situation, and there's a couple bad misses for Kunkel here. If it over curls and taps the yellow up, it could be a steal of 3. Right now, it's a possible steal of 2 for complete sheet show, and that's what Jeff faces as his last shot is away here in the 5th end. It's looking pretty good. It's going to hit. Oh, when it goes through the gap, it does clip one of the yellows on the way out, but the shot stone stays, and so that is a steal of 1 for complete sheet show. It's going to hit. Oh, when it goes through the gap, it does clip one of the yellows on the way out, but the shot stone stays, and so that is a steal of 1. So pretty interesting ends. Didn't work out for Team Kunkel, but success for complete sheet show. But Kunkel has the hammer here in a tie game in the 6th end of a possible 8 ends of regulation. And again, because this is the championship, if we are tied after 8, we go one more end, as opposed to the draw shot challenge shootout that we've been doing throughout the rest of this 5 and under tournament. As Tessa's first shot is away, and I'm going to bet you $5,000 this is going to end up in the top of the house. And oh no, I'm ruined. I'm ruined. They're taking a really close look at it. Oh, my hubris. Do we need the T-bar or the biter bar? We might see the biter bar. The 3rd most exciting measure in all of sport. We're going for a biter bar. I haven't seen the biter bar in a playdown before, or in a live stream. This is super, super exciting. I mean, as exciting as you can do it with a biter bar, but you know, it's a biter bar. I don't get out very much, guys. So Katie Feldman, one of the volunteers for this event and one of the ice officials for the weekend, sharing head ice official duties with Jeremy, has the biter bar out on the ice, the 3rd most exciting measure in all of sport. And I saw it fall a little bit. They want to make sure it's the one end is in the pinhole in the button, and then they're going to go out and see if it. So it is a guard. I have lost $5,000. Oh, my hubris. You know I was joking, right? I'm good for the money, but you know I was joking, right?
Wow.
So, Matt O'Brien's first Rogers is away. Oh, man. I mean, it was almost a sure thing, but so with guards in play, we're seeing a shift in strategy. And so it was indeed a guard, and so it's also a center line guard. And so for the first time this game, I get to say that the no-tick rule is in effect. And the no-tick rule is an expansion of the free guard zone rule. And so just to explain what the free guard zone is, the old rule, which is still in effect, is that for the first 5 rocks of the end, an opponent cannot fully remove a guard in front of the house from play. If that happens, the non-offending team removes the offending stone and resets the guard to where it was, and any other stones that were touched. The no-tick rule, as an expansion of the free guard zone rule, is that the 5 rocks still apply, except for the variation is an opposing team cannot dislodge a center line guard from the center line, even pushing it into the house. If that happens, the non-offending team has the choice to either leave the rocks as they played out, or they could remove the offending stone and reset the stones to where they were before the penalty happens. So this really changes the dynamic of the end. Going from hit, and some draws, some guards, to guard, draw. And Tessa Brockie made a really great draw around the center guard to sit in the back 8 foot, touching the 4 foot line. That draw for Matt O'Brien, a little wide perhaps, so it sets up a hit and roll for Jerry St. James. I think the most important part is to hit the red out without jamming on the yellow in the back. And Paul is saying I can send money via Venmo, which thank you very much. I might need to do an installment plan, guys. I mean, my cars are worth about that much, and oh man, I've avoided going to the casinos for this very reason. And, so it does hit the red out. The shooter is going to also go through the rings out of play. I hope you guys are having fun. I have fun. That's a big reason why I do this. It's the most supreme fun to be on the ice, but to be a volunteer to help facilitate others enjoying this game and celebrating the talent of our region is a big reason why I'm here. And I think it's a big reason why Katie, as another committee member, does it, especially because this started as a fun spiel 12 events ago. It's been more than 12 years because of COVID. This draw's looking pretty good, maybe a smidge light, as they're sweeping it to more of a guard position. So it taps the center guard. But this is the 6th stone of the end, so they can do that. So the room is down for Jerry to draw now. So he's also, these teams are throwing a lot of hits. So to go from throwing a lot of hits to drawing to end up in the house or the guard zone, dialing down weight can be a challenge for teams. As you see, Jerry's next rock. He's sliding a little wide, but let's see if the rock stays on target. It's looking pretty good. The weight's a little up. So he threw a takeout with his first. It's another question is the weight that he's throwing with. It's around the guard. It just brushes past the guard and settles in. It taps the yellow in the back. That shooter is now shots about half buried. So those guards aren't helping Kunkel, so that he's thinking about maybe clearing those guards or perhaps drawing around. I think he could probably get both guards moving. I say he could hit, smack him, but he can get both guards moving. So he's going for a peel with a Hal Brown's next stone. Hal Brown. Looking to peel some of these guards. Gets one moving. The shooter's going to clip the guard on the right and then roll into the top 12 foot. So a good outcome for Hal Brown and Team Kunkel. So now we're to third stones as Ramin makes his way down the ice. Talks things over with the front end. Talking over some strategy, looking to draw. I think wants to be top 8 foot buried to kind of protect their advantage, and then also make it that much harder for Kunkel to find the button if he needs to do draw with his last. So this is Ramin Gilbert, not from Gilbert, Arizona, as far as I know. So this is looking okay. The sweepers are just walking with it, so this might settle in the back of the behind the tee line. Now they're starting to finish to bury it as far as they can. And that ends up in a really supreme place. Top 8 foot, exactly where they wanted it. Excellent shot there from Gilbert. So now Woody Woo is being asked to do some more cleanup on aisle C. Looking to peel at least one of these yellows, if not both. He's going to get one, and that's all. The shooter's going to roll across the house out of play. So now, sitting 3, complete sheet show is still just going to keep trying to lock things down. And excellent setup. So still, I mean, this is still aggressive play. It's just not. It's a different form of aggression than we saw in the first 4 ends, the first 5 ends. As Gilbert gets set to draw again. Probably the same weight, maybe just a smidge lighter. This is going to be one worthy of timing. So for top of the house, probably looking at about 1440 is my guess as the rock heads down the way. So looking for guards. This is probably going to be about 15.9. So that's, I mean, the weight was right. They had the right time. I did not. Oh, bingo. Jared Smith. Although you can't count the free space twice. So, I was doing a fake bingo game on Friday night as part of MoPac After Dark. So looking to peel again. Woody Woo. It's a very similar shot to his first, so this should be on the money. And it is. It hits the yellow through the rings. The shooter's going to roll to the edge of the 12 foot out of the house, out of the rings. So, complete sheet show is sitting 3. There is a single red on the edge, the right edge of the 12 foot. So it is possible. I mean, sheet show is in a really great position here to possibly steal or force. The draw path is still open. And then also, if things get completely mucked up, Kunkel could maybe hit the inside of that outer red and then roll towards the button. So there's still multiple paths to the button. Kunkel still has a couple outs here. As Supers are doing their job cleaning again. David Hurst is getting set for his first of 2 fourth rocks. Kind of changing or considering the angle of attack here. So going for the draw, I think they want to, again, kind of settle in the top 8 foot. They're talking it over. So looking to draw, this is David Hurst with his first. Maybe this is a little tight. It is a bit tight, so this might tap up the yellow in the top. Oh, actually, the line's good, the weight's good. Look at the spin on that stone, especially as it settles in right on top of the yellow in the top 8 foot. So you can see there's still a couple draw paths for Jeff Kunkel to take on. But sheet show is sitting 4. So barring some great draws or some excellent play from Kunkel, there could be a steal here. But again, as I mentioned, Kunkel has a couple draws to the button that are still available. And it looks like they're going to try and go to the button now, just based on where Woody has the broom. Looking to draw. Kunkel's weight for draws has been a little light, I think, if I remember correctly. So weight's going to be a key concern here, as well as line. This is looking pretty good in terms of weights. 13-2, so this is probably going to be back 4. And that is indeed where it ends up. It rolls slightly. So that was a great draw there from Jeff. So they're looking to maybe draw right on top. I think they could tap. If they do a heavy draw, they could maybe hit the inside of the red and push it back. It's just a heavy draw, so like back 8 weight even. You do back 8 weight and then have the shooter roll a little undercover, perhaps. That might be a call here. Looks like they're set up for something similar. I mean, they still can do the draw. I would say that a little heavies than this here. As we've been talking all weekend long, you have kind of your ideal shots, and then you kind of look to see how you might miss, because we can't be perfect all the time, despite what my parents tell me. I'm joking, of course. But yeah, you look to see where the miss is and stuff. So in this case, I mean, I would be a little heavy. You want to be shot after this. As David Hurst is throwing his second, fourth stone here without the hammer in the 6th end against 1 Kunkel red. That was a great draw there from Jeff. Sweepers are walking with it. Needs to curl a bit. It's finishing okay. It did not curl enough. So I think the weight was okay, just a little wide. I would say the line is good. So it was a balance. For the weight, it was the wrong line. But if you threw that back 4, back 8 weight, it was probably going to be a little closer. But tough shot, tough miss there by David. So now Jeff Kunkel is sitting 1, a chance for 2, and just like that, the end is changed. As Jeff Kunkel throws his last, the hammer, coming here in the 6th ends. Sweepers are on it. This is also a bit wide. It's also a little light as the sweepers are pounding the ice to get it to go as far as it can go. It's going to be close. It needs to be biting the forefoot to be second shot, and it looks like it is there. So as the sweepers exchange fist bumps, that is a score of 2 for Team Kunkel to retake the lead, breaking the tie. Wait for them to post the score, of course. And indeed, that is a score of 2 for Team Kunkel, reestablishing their lead in this game. And this has been a barn burner, guys. I'm glad you guys tuned in. And so, yeah. This is the championship final for the MoPac 5 and under. Defending champions, complete sheet show of Oval Curling of Utah, are taking on Team Kunkel of Coyotes and OC Curling. The winner of this event will secure a berth at the National 5 and Under Championship. However, Team Kunkel has already qualified, and so that means if Kunkel were to win, just because of how the National Championship is set up, the berth will not go to the runner-up. It goes to the runner-up of the Bonspiel that has the most number of entries, which is not us. So just a small wrinkle, but we definitely, again, are hoping for excellent play all around. And as I said before, we definitely we want both teams to do well and also to feel like they're being encouraged to play, and yeah. I'll leave it there. So Tessa Brocky's first rock, as a complete sheet show, has the hammer this end. I guess I'm out another $5,000 because Team Kunkel and Nat O'Brien threw up a center line guard. That one's much more obviously a center line guard. And Brocky puts up a corner guard. So off to the races again here. As coverage of this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Next time you're confused on ice, take a photo, recreate it on curling.gg, and try multiple outcomes. It's the only platform that lets you take the shots, undo, and try again. Curling.gg. So drawing around the center guard here to the back 4 foot. Excellent job there by Matt. 2 great stones from him and Team Kunkel. So a couple options. They could try and draw around. They're down 2 with 2 ends to go. So they need to get 2 here. They could get 1 and try to steal 2 in the last end, but that's a tall order. So the broom is down for a heavy takeout, like a heavy draw takeout. So it needs to get around the guard, and it looks like it's on the guard. So we have a no-take violation, and the non-offending team is choosing to reset the original stone and removing the offending rock. So that was a tight rock. Tough call. I mean, I think that like a draw would have been okay as opposed to the heavy draw. A slight tap just to push the red back or even push the red open for a takeout on the net shot could have been a possibility. So we are to Hal Brown's first rock. So looking to, I think, put up another guard. That's the 5th rock of the end, though. So now, complete sheet show could try to clear the guards. They could also try to draw down on the red. I think clearing the guards is a somewhat smart call. That way, they could try to open things up, especially try to get access to their corner guard they put up, because they really can't get to the corner from how the rocks are positioned right now.
Where's that one sitting back there?
So it looks like we're setting up for a peel.
Let's peel.
So the broom's down for a peel. There's some common curling adage where they say you can rarely go wrong by clearing the guard. And we're going to see if that adage holds true with complete sheet show's next rock. And so it peels 2 reds. Those go away, and that is a double takeout brought to you by doubletakeout.com. You can rarely go wrong by clearing the guard. And we're going to see if that adage holds true with complete sheet show's next rock. And so it peels 2 reds. Those go away, and that is a double takeout brought to you by Double. And that was brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. As Browns Nets Rock is away, heading down the ice. Looking to put up a front stone. It could be a guard. It could be a top 8 foot, top 12 foot perhaps. They want to keep it modestly high so that it cuts down on the chances of a double takeout or a run back double. And that looks like a pretty good place for it. Well covered from this head-on view. So it's currently Kunkel sitting 1 in the rings. As coverage continues from the DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships, we see Jerry getting set for that heavy draw, hoping to tap the red back. If it taps on the guard, that's a good plan B. Looks like it might be on the guard. It does crash in the guard. It bounces off of the other yellow on the side and then rolls toward the top of the house. Does not appear to be in.
Hang on, Woody, real quick.
But that shot stone is open now, and so it looks like looks like Kunkel is considering a couple options. Talking it over with Wu. And then again, Team Kunkel is a squad consisting of players from Coyotes of Tempe, Arizona, as well as OC Curling. As Woody's first shot is away. Looking for a draw. I think looking to put the guard back up is the call. Because if Kunkel were able to steal a point this end, it just really makes it that much harder for Complete Sheet Show to score 3 even with a hammer here in this in the 8th end, the 8th and final end of regulation. And that guard was put back up. And that run back does not appear to be there. So I think they're going to try and raise the yellow or peel the guards. And I think the call is to peel the guard. I say that because the the broom is not in the right place to raise. As Ramin gets set. The first of 2 third stones from Gilbert. Going to peel the guard. The shooter rolls and hits the yellow that was on the wing of the sheet and then loses both the shooter and that yellow. So keeping it an open house. So this is, I think, a situation where Sheet Show is trying to find a way to score 2 here, or at least score 1. I mean, even if they give up 1, being down 3, we've seen how high-powered these offenses can be. As Woody's Nets Rock is away. Trying to put the guard back up, I think. This might tap on the red and roll over. No, it goes right past it. So good guard. Good guard, y'all. So the angle might be there to run the yellow back onto red.
There's no bell. No bell in finals. Yeah, 8.
So they're kind of looking at the angles here to see if they could run the yellow back onto red. It's going to be a tough shot. They have to manage the line supremely well, and it's the side that curls more. Tough situation here. If anyone in the chat has any ideas, definitely always appreciate their insights. As I've mentioned from time to time, I definitely kind of approach these broadcasts where like we're sitting in the warm room sharing a beverage after a game and kind of watching other games in progress and kind of seeing what we might think the call could be or what could happen, and that's kind of what we've got here. And sometimes saying like I would have called that shot. I don't say that very often though, because I do try to respect the fact that I'm not on the ice. So the broom is down. I think they're going to go for peeling the guard one last time, which makes sense. It does make it harder to try to score 2 in this end, and I think they would really like to score 2. I think it's a tough situation here because I don't think you want to go down 3. It's hard to say down 3 with hammer or down 2 without, or down 1 without, and that's the difference. So the guard is peeled. The shooter's going to roll across the top of the rings and go out of play. And so the broom is down for Jeff Kunkel to put up a guard. And if the shot is made, it's going to, again, kind of force Complete Sheet Show to make the tough call. Been a pretty fun. It's been a fun tournament, all in all. I hope the people on the ice have had fun. People have been telling me that. They've been telling me that they enjoy the broadcast, which is a big reason why I'm here, to help showcase the curlers of MoPac and to help tell the story of MoPac and its curlers to viewers across the web. As Jeff Kunkel gets sets for his first. Looking to guard, and in this case, he lights. He just can't hog the stone. The line is going to be the most important part. If it overcurls, it does create a possible opportunity for Sheet Show. And in this case, overcurling is to go past the yellow, and it doesn't quite go past the yellow. It goes right in front of the yellow. So I guess the overcurling possibilities if it leaves the yellow open, the shot stone red open. And then speaking about helping to create a fun environment, definitely MoPac and myself would like to extend our thanks and gratitude to all the volunteers and people involved with Curl Vegas. They've been a very gracious host. And it's great to have a venue like Curl Vegas in Las Vegas. Although I do have to note that Curl Vegas is not part of our MoPac region as an organization. They are within our region geographically, but they've affiliated with the GNCC, the Grand National Curling something. Forget what the C stands for. Tough shot here for David Hurst and Complete Sheet Show. Looking to peel the guard one last time. That shot is made. And it gets two of the stones moving, and so it opens things up. So part of the debates to go down 3 with hammer to draw within 1 without the hammer. Kunkel's looking to steal the end and force Sheet Show to fight the 3-point deficit, which is understandable. The other possibility would be to I think they can still force. I think it depends on where they want to put the rock. I mean, they can put the guard back up, but they can also. I don't think they want to go into the rings, just because you kind of have to suss out how your opponent is playing. And I don't think they want to draw on the reins and have a possibility of a double. It's kind of my thinking process. Calling for curl. And so this is going to be a guard. It does leave the run back, but I think it closes the ports or the draw, the open draw for hitting the red. I guess the other thing possibility is if they, if Complete Sheet Show blanks the ends, they could have the hammer and be down. Be down 2. So that was a good guard there from Jeff, and I kept it high, which I thought was probably a smart call. I mean, you could press the advantage and go into the top of the house and sit 2 and protect the shot stone. But as it is, the run back is still there, and I don't think they can do anything fancier than a slight angle run back. Hurst and Gilbert are talking over the shots. They want to hit it at about like 1 o'clock, just to the right of the face of the stone, or just left from this view, as you see Gilbert having the broom down for the 4th, David Hurst. Key shot here, it's the last rock, 7th end, down 2, facing 1. David Hurst looking to tap the yellow back for a single point. Rocky is on it. Oh, this is over curling. It whips, oh my gosh. So it hits the red on the yellow, and the yellow gets pushed to the back button for a single point. Let's see if I can see that again. Let's see if I can. Missed it. That was a crazy shot. So now the scenario is Complete Sheet Shows down 1 without the hammer. So they would need to steal this end. Steal a 1 forces the extra, steal a 2 secures the win. For Kunkel, just prevent Sheet Show from scoring 1 or more. So while Tessa's first rock is away, let's update you on the scores around the rings as part of our trademarks around the rings coverage. And I'm joking, of course, because other channels have around the rings. So we're gonna, I think, see a guard here, especially because Sheet Show will need places to hide stones. And so the center guard is or any guard is the way to do that. And so that is a high guard. It looks like it's in the 1 zone. If people can divide sheets into tenths. The first 3 zones are the guard zone. So like 1 is near the hog line, 2 is the middle of the guard zone, and 3 is in front of the house. So that looks like a 1 guard. As we see Matt O'Brien deliver. Up 1, we have Team Kunkel, hailing from Coyotes and OC Curling. Up 7-6 over complete sheet show from Oval of Utah. Going around the reins on sheet D, we have our second event final. Tuscan Curlers led early, but Broomstones has fought back with a set of a couple ends with 3 points each. Broomstones is up 7-5 over Tuscan Curlers, who hail from SFBACC, Lone Star, and St. Paul. Our third event final between Hot Dish of Wine Country and Stippet of Silicon Valley. Hot Dish has really turned up the heat, as it were, currently leading Stippet 11-2. Although it is worth noting that it seems like at least one member of Stippet was under the weather for this game. It's just a factor to consider. As Brocky second stone looking to draw around the center. Looks pretty close, maybe a smidge light as it crashes on the center guard. And you can crash on your own stone, you just can't crash on others' stones. So Matt O'Brien pushes out of the hack. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. Elevate Monsfield Games with Endgame's 3-piece travel handle. Endgame's full carbon fiber handle is engineered for convenience. It fits most carry-on luggage. Plus, it's compatible with the heads of other curling broom brands. EndgameCurling.com. Pretty good draw there from Matt O'Brien. They complete sheet show is looking to maybe draw around, maybe set up some angles to steal the final. They also have 2 guards on the left side, so they could try to hit and roll under cover. They might not be shot after that. But it also does help open up the draw to the center of the rings. As Jerry O'Brien is getting set. I think looking to draw between the guards is Jerry's first stone. Looking pretty good. It's curling now. Then the weight's also going to be important here. I think once it's past the guard, they'll be called off. And they are. So now the question is, where does it stop? As Jeff jumps on it to sweep it to the back of the house. Is it going to hang on? It does. It looks like it's third shot, though, as it is solidly on that back line. So now the question is for Team Kunkel, what's their strategy? And it looks like their strategy is to start clearing guards, just removing places for complete sheet show to hide. As Wood is really encouraged to sweep. Don't want to run the yellow back into the red. And it looks like mission accomplished. It scoots past the reds in the rings. And so now the question is, what does Sheet Show do? And it looks like they want to put the guard back up. They're still trying to create places to hide, as Gilbert has the room down for a guard. Jerry's going to have to dial his weight down a bit because he was a little heavy on his last, although he had good line. Looking for a guard. That was about 14-4, so this will be top of the house as they're sweeping to push it to full 12 foot. And that looks to be good for second shots. And Kunkel wants to make it go away. That makes sense. They don't want to have any Yellowstones around. They just want to be able to have either to sit shot or be in a position to score easily. As Hal's last shot is away. Kind of a bit of a wobble, but he adjusted. And it looks like he's going to split the uprights. Oh my goodness. So that looked pretty close. It just didn't come back as much as they were expecting. And like I said, Brown wobbled a little bit. I think he tried to adjust on his release, and sometimes when you make the adjustment, it doesn't work. So could be a couple things. And so now Complete Sheet Show has a chance to, I think maybe tap up the yellow to sit shot buried. They're looking to draw. So looking for a draw, I think to draw, maybe tap a little bit. They don't want to create a double. And they have the cover, though, of the corner guard. So I was thinking that they could... I thought they could tap and be undercover. It does leave red a chance to raise their red on the right side here. So Complete Sheet Show has something developing here, but it's like a Polaroid that isn't fully developed. It's just starting to develop. It's a little hazy, and we're waiting to see how the picture fades into view. As Gilbert's first rock is away. Looking to guard, I believe, is the call. And you're seeing a decent amount of curl as it comes back to the center line. Now, it doesn't curl enough, though. I mean, another half stone would have been really excellent. As it is, there's a narrow port for Kunkel to take on, but as it is, they're going to peel this guard, and I think we can kind of see the end game strategy here as Woody gets set, barring a successful run back takeout. Kunkel's going to try and clear the guards, and then Complete Sheet Show is going to put the guard back up until maybe their last stone, and then tap their yellow back as they peel the guard successfully. The shooter also rolls away. So now looks like they're probably going to do the guard again, unless they decide to. Knowing when to go into the ring is always a big question.
I heard that.
So it's great to see the daylight in these windows. I say that with some humor just because when I do these curling tournaments, I'm usually in the warm room and there's not windows, and so I'm just kind of in there all weekend. There's been some talk about how it might, the temperature exposure might be a factor. It's north facing, so I don't think you get a lot of direct sunlight necessarily. But when it's 120 degrees out, you're going to get some heat penetration. So I think that might be why they have some solar temperature reflectors they put up more in the winter time or the summertime. Or opposite winter, as I like to call it. 2 games have ended. Broom Stacking Badgers was going up against CCMF. And CCMF of Lone Star took an 8-6 win over Broom Stacking Badgers. The difference in that game was a 4-ender that CCMF scored in the 6th end. They also stole the 7th, and then the Badgers got a single point back in the 8th, but it wasn't enough to tie the game. So congratulations to CCMF, the 4th event winner. The Broom is down 4 remain. I think looking to, they're saying hard line, and they're looking to tap the red and then maybe roll in. But over curls, another question is where does the red end up? Ends up in the back, and yeah, Marine said whoa, because they would have probably liked it to be a backstop. And that goes through the rings out of play. So that's a pretty good shot by Gilbert. And so now it looks like Sheet Show are sitting 2, because that yellow in the back, excuse me. That yellow in the back is being outcounted by the red on the right, and that's been the case for much of this end. They're going to be sitting 3 actually. So now they've really kind of amped up the pressure on Team Kunkel. So a big question on what they do. I would think that as Wu comes down to talk it over, just a really big question of what to do here. While they talk it over, just to recap the 3rd event final, I won't belabor the point. Hot Dish of Wine Country won that contest 15-2 over Skip It of Silicon Valley. Hard fought game. Just it was Hot Dish was cooking, as I said. And then the 2nd event final is tied on sheet D. We have between Broomstones and Broomstones going up against Tuscan Curlers of San Francisco, Lone Star, and St. Paul, tied at 7. And there's a lot of rocks in play, so that is not going to end in a blank. So they're talking it over. I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs. Oh man. So the situation here is that Kunkel has a point to give. They would have the hammer and extra end if it comes down to it. They don't want to give up 2 and the win. And so I think they're opting to clear one of these stones out of the way, which I think is a pretty sound strategy. You don't want to have the other team having multiple counters and create an opportunity for the other team to win. So Woody Woo is in the hack, and he's away looking to peel one of these yellows and maybe roll into the house under a yellow. Calling for curl. This is looking pretty good to peel. Now the question is what happens to the shooter? It peels the yellow, and then the shooter's going to go through the rings out of play. So it is Sheet Show sitting 1 and 3, while Team Kunkel is sitting the 2nd shot on that right wing. So it looks like we are to the 4th stones as David Hurst gets set. Looking to draw under those corner guards that were put up early in the end. Those are now in play, which I think also underscores why it's important if you have a chance to clear guards to clear the guards if you are up in a game. I'm not saying that I don't think they really had an opportunity to clear the guards. This is looking pretty good. It's going to get around the yellow. Now the question is, how deep does it go? It goes deep enough to be shots about 60% buried. Although from this overhead view, it looks a little bit more open. It looks accessible. So Team Kunkel's looking over its options. And I mean, they do have a couple options, which is a great opportunity here. And someone on the chat did note that the insulation on the windows will go back up after about the end of April, which makes sense. I mean, it's been a pretty pleasant 68 degrees this weekend here in Sin City, as it were. But the temperatures are going to crank up pretty soon. So thank you, 84 Westy, for the comment. So we are to the first two skip stones by Jeff Kunkel, skip of the eponymous team out of Coyotes and OC Curling. It's a hard-fought battle between the two teams. Looks like they're going to try and hit and roll on the... it's hard to say which stone they're going for. I think they're going for the one on the left. And that is based on, also he has the going for the counterclockwise out-turn rotation. And that's how you tell the rotation of the stone. Line looks pretty good. The weight, going for soft weight. They don't need a missile here. So not much a roll. It's going to hit. It's going to roll to the top 12 and be good for second shot, maybe third shot. No, it's going to be second shot. So now it is sheet show sitting 1 and 4 in terms of the county order of rocks, and Team Kunkel has 2 and 3. So tricky situation as Brocky sweeps the draw path.
They got just 2 full 8-foot, so they can come on the side.
And so they're looking about where to put stones. And they can't cover everything. So the question is, where do they put their rock to try to be in a position to steal at least a tie, maybe the win? And so they're looking at drawing to the back 4 foot as a possibility. I think one possibility is to hit the red. No, you don't want to hit the red out. I think that they draw behind the red. That's kind of, I mean, where they're going, and I'm kind of following along with them here. If they draw behind the red, they narrow the draw path to the button, and if that's sitting shot, though, the question is, Kunkel just taps that hard and gets rid of it, and then Kunkel wins. Which is, I mean, it comes down to brass tacks, folks. I mean, either you're winning or not. You make the shot or you don't. So going for a draw around, they're sitting 1, trying to curl behind the red that was just put up by Jeff Kunkel to sit 2, and then force Kunkel to make a difficult either tap or draw to secure the win. So David's shot is away. Sweepers are just walking with it down the ice. This is a little heavy, and so now the question is, where do they park the stone? It needs to sit down, and it's going to be too heavy and go through the back of the house. And so now either Kunkel tries to hit the yellow out or just draws for the win. And they're lining up the draw. So just an unlucky miss there by David Hurst. The line looks pretty good. It just the weight was about 6 feet too heavy. So opportunity now swings to Kunkel, facing 1. Sheet Show has 1 to tie right now, but Kunkel's looking to take that away with his draw here. Key shots to secure the win as Jeff Kunkel gets set. Woody Woo has the broom down for his skip. It comes down to this. The hammer from Team Kunkel. So sweepers jump on it quickly. Looked maybe a smidge light. It's carrying though. As Woody comes out to help, they need to make sure it gets to be full 8 foot to secure the win. It looks close, and it is there for the win. Great sweep by Team Kunkel to secure an 8-6 win over Complete Sheet Show. Handshakes all around. Excellent game. Team Kunkel has won a second qualifier. So we're going to let the chips fall where they may when it comes to how teams qualify for the 5 and under national championship. As I said before, MoPac just kind of lets USA Curling know that we would like to qualify a team, and how their process of basically moving a qualifying berth from an event that's already won, or where it's won by a team that's already qualified, to the bonspiel with the next number of entrances. It's not, it doesn't seem like the best solution. So Team Kunkel wins. They are our MoPac 5 and under champions. Complete Sheet Show gave them a heck of a fight, and a really awesome game as they clean up off the ice. We're going to have some awards, but we're going to sign off here. But before we sign off, just want to let people know that this event was brought to you by doubletakeout.com, offering up-to-date information about the up-to-date rankings about the top men's and women's teams from around the world, doubletakeout.com, and by curling.gg. For skips and curlers who love a good game, curling.gg is your ultimate practice tool. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the travel handle, a 3-piece accessory made of carbon fiber that fits most carry-on luggage, endgamecurling.com. So this is the next to last event as part of the doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. We've had a great season so far, and we will be back in June for the arena playdowns set for Coyotes curling. That's going to be in June. We'll have more information about that soon on the MoPac webpage and the MoPac Facebook page. But until then, congratulations to Team Kunkel, the MoPac 5 and under champions for 2025. And also congratulations to Sheet Show for putting up a valiant effort. So it's a way to end a tournament on a high note, and I think we're going to put this one in the books as a success. So on behalf of all of us here at MoPac Curl Vegas, and with deep thanks to our sponsors, doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and Endgame Curling, for the last time from Las Vegas, this is Ryan Olson saying good afternoon and